Have you had trouble setting goals? Have you always wanted to be a goal getter but don't know how to set them? Hi, I'm Debra Kasowski, 3-time best-selling author, speaker, executive coach, and the host of the Millionaire Woman Show podcast. Today I want to talk to you about setting goals in a smarter way. So there's 3 types of goals. There's performance goals, which tend to be you focused, they're short term, and it's something that you have control over. And often the evaluation is against whatever you have going on today is you're going to compare it to your past performance. Okay? Then we have the outcome goal. Those are usually long term and they involve having other people involved in the process. And it can really lead up to a particular event that you maybe are aiming to. So that's your long term, that's the outcome goal, where you're focused solely on outcome and results. Where the short term goal is focused on your performance at any given time in the process of that journey toward that goal. Then we have the process goal. Process goal is really focused in on developing technique, developing skill set, your abilities, so that it would be a goal of measurement of, when you think about the gym, it's reps, how many weights you're lifting, things like that. So you're really focused on the technique and measurement of that. The other thing with that, when you're comparing it to maybe a writer, how many words, you might be working through questions and different prose. So thinking about what skill set that you need to practice. If you're a golfer, it might be how many swings. It might be setting your feet up in alignment. So thinking about what are the skill set or the technique required to set your process goals. So that's where you're really honing in on the skills, the art and the science of everything that's going on. But when you're setting those goals, you want to write them down. And why is that? Because when you write them down, you ink them, so then you start to think them. They're not just trapped here in your mind as a goal that you want to work toward, but you're really focused in on, now that you've inked it, this is something that you're making a commitment to. It's a declaration that you want this to happen. So when you make this declaration, this commitment to yourself, excuses are off the table, right? So you've inked it, you made it real. The other thing is when you're thinking about the word SMART. The word SMART in goal setting stands for being very specific. What is it that you specifically want to achieve? M is for measurable. In what way will you measure this so that when you get there, you know that you've reached it? You don't want to be just going away on your goal and realize you accomplished it like 3 months ago. So really being able to measure it, and what you measure, you get to manage, which is really important. Then we have the word achievable. A is for achievable. Is this goal that you're setting achievable, often in the time frame that you set it? R is for realistic. You want to set goals that are realistic, but they're also challenging to stretch you out of that comfort zone and help you become a better version of yourself, become the best you can be. And then T is timely. You want to have a time that you're going to evaluate of when you want to achieve this by. By having that T, you create that urgency behind it that you're going to get things done within a certain time frame. So that little bit of pressure, that creative tension that we call it as a coach, helps you get things done and be more effective with time. Then the part that often doesn't get taught is expanding that word to getting smarter. So you have specific, we have measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, but also adding the ER at the end to evaluate the goal. Did we meet the goal? Was it that you had too many goals during the time? Was the goal not enough to stretch you out of your comfort zone? To evaluate what went well with that goal, what's not working with that goal, or maybe you have to adjust your course and realign the time frame. So really thinking about evaluating the goal set. R is really, really important. It's about the reward. How are you going to reward yourself? The milestones along the way. The one thing that I know when I work with clients is that they're not celebrating their successes enough, those wins. And when you take time to celebrate and reward yourself, whether it be just an affirmation or validating yourself that you got things done, these are the things that build momentum into the work that you do. And it's also a reminder of why you do what you do, that reward that comes in return. Often what I see is people saying, oh yeah, that's great, it was nothing. But when someone stops and says, how did you do that? And you get really excited about sharing it with them, please take time to celebrate. And it's not bragging unless you have the intent to lower someone else down in their energy level, their belief in themselves. That's what bragging is. But celebrating success, we should all be celebrating our successes, which will keep that momentum going for you to take on more actions, feel awesome, and break through any barriers that you might have holding you back from going after what it is you truly want. So think about your short-term goals, focus on your performance, outcome goals. These are those long-term goals that involve other people involved often, that we and us, the part of the team that comes in for that one event. And it could be that you're putting on a workshop, you're putting on a conference, or you have a sporting event. That everybody's individual performance goals lead up to this big long-term goal. And you yourself could have long-term goals, but it's your performance in smaller chunks that really measures up to help create those outcomes, that result that you're looking for. But also taking time to think about your process goals. Are there any techniques or habits that you want to work on, to tweak, to ensure that you are working at maximizing your abilities, your skills, your talents, so that you can get those long-term results that you desire? I'm Debra Kasowski. Please go over to my website at www.debrakasowski.com, where you can sign up for my free ebook, 21 Habits High Achievers Kick to Achieve Success. And you can also learn about how to work with me as a coach or hire me for your next speaking engagement. Have a great day, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.